We're live, guys. It's Strongman Sunday. I hope you've had a great weekend. Auntie Liz is here. Uncle Loz is here. Have we got in the comments? Uncle Fred is Uncle Fred. It's cousin Fred, isn't it?
Yes.
How you doing, Fred? Alan, Ben, Austin. Lots of members in here. There he is, cousin Fred. Hicksy has the 505.
Ooh, big claim.
We will have to talk about this. Definitely
What did Hicksy pull on 410?
He did 410 for 5.
What did Jamal Browner do?
He did 410 for 4, but without a suit.
Will he wear a suit? Do we know?
I don't think so.
I can't wait to see Jamal lift. I think he's really gonna be right up there with the best guys. I really hope Pavlo Nekonechny can get in shape for this one, because
you're just jumping straight into this, aren't you?
I am. I'm just thinking.
I was just doing
loud,
a hello,
really.
But Liz is right on it today.
Well, I'm thinking strongman. That's what we're here for. And no, I do hope Pavlo Nekonechny can get back to full shape. We know Rauno wants 505. Even Makarov wants 505. But other than that, there's no real contenders, is there? For like winning.
I've not seen anything that makes me think 505 is going up yet.
No.
There is time to change that.
There is.
But
Strength showcasing.
I'm looking forward to seeing Jamal lift. I think it's going to be really cool having him on there. Yeah. Hicksy looks very focused. I know Nekonechny has this knee issue that he's getting treatment for currently. Spoke to him the other day and he said training was going well until his knee started bothering him again. So who knows? We will have to wait and see what happens. But I hope everyone has had a good weekend. Lots of strongman to look forward to.
Yes, finally. It feels like it's been forever, but now we've got lots of competitions coming up, and they're going to come thick and fast as well.
I feel like I've been quite involved because I've been training quite hard.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been good. Obviously, the events for OSG were announced. We had the chat with Lynn a few weeks ago. A week ago.
Last week.
Yeah. All these dates are kind of mixing in as one right now. There's lots of kind of competitions happening at like the amateur kind of level right now, and there's some fantastic athletes coming through. So exciting times in the sport, and we're back to some of the big major shows happening.
My wife is very pleased with her Team Liz t-shirt. Thank you. No, thank you, Andrew. And your wife are having impeccable taste. People have been like, they don't know which one to get. I'm like
get both.
I'm sliding into their DMs. Get the Liz ones. Hi, Jane. Hi, Applesauce. Hello, hip flipping mama. The whole gang's here for Strongman Sunday. Yeah, so Strength Showcase saying Jamal won't wear a suit, which just makes it all the more interesting, I think. He's such a good addition to the lineup because he's really popular for a powerlifter, isn't he?
Very popular.
He's going to bring new eyes to the
sport. Is giving him a lot of shit.
This whole par thing it's a little bit uncomfortable, isn't it? I think like Jamal obviously doesn't know who Par is, because otherwise he no, sorry, I don't mean that rudely.
The reality is he probably doesn't.
No, I don't think he does. And like,
so who's this Irish guy giving me shit?
I know. And Par's sort of gone down the rage bait route, it seems.
Par is not a fan of sumo.
Is he not a fan of sumo, or is he just taking the piss? But either way, Jamal doesn't seem to find it funny.
No.
It's probably a good job Par's not in the competition.
I know that was the kind of thing with it. I was like, is he trying to get an invite to the competition? Or is he just trying to cause some stir? Or is he just wanting people to talk about him?
Well, it's working. So if it's the latter, it is working.
But we are looking forward to Jamal lifting. I'm looking forward to Jamal, Rauno, Pavlo Nekonechny if he's fit, and even Makarov. He's a difficult one.
I see it going the exact same it has the last couple of years, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah.
Up to the knees, down again. I know that's like people say, oh, you're not being fair. He's done this in training, but nothing in his training ever tells me he's going to get that much closer.
I mean, the amount of heavy attempts he does is pretty insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to know what his training blocks look like.
How's Rauno looking? Because I've not spoken to him too much recently. I spoke to him about a week ago, and he's had his knee treatment.
He has, yeah, which has slowed down. Like, I'm sure he's probably not where he would want to be. The thing with Rauno, he's a bit like you. He can get strong really, really quick, but your body has to be able to sort of catch up, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
The problem is with me and Rauno, we can get strong quick, but we can get hurt quick.
Injured really quick as well, exactly. And he's trying to be sensible. So
I think I know he wants to do a big deadlift.
He wants 505.
I want to see a competitive deadlift competition.
Yeah,
that's what I
more
want to
than
see.
anything.
I don't want to see like when we first saw the 7 guys do 1,000 pounds, it was incredible.
It was.
But I want to see a real battle now. I want to see who is the best deadlifter on the same bar on the same day.
Yeah.
And who comes out as the champion.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Cousin Fred, thank you so much for the super chat. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Hope all is well. And my Team Liz shirt is now my favorite. Well done, Fred. Another man of impeccable taste.
Someone in a Team Loz one today, so that's something.
Oh,
there's got to be some Team Loz out there.
No, there is. Croc and Sock, and also Gavin, thank you so much for becoming members. After this live, make sure you check out the membership tab because we do have plenty of members exclusives on there now, don't we? Going to my first Strongman show next week. Can't wait, Anthony. Is it the Strongman Classic?
Strongman Classic is next week, yeah.
It is, yeah.
What's
Cybernetic Strongman. Hey, coach, I had a question that might benefit people in the chat. Can consuming too much caffeine before lifting hinder recovery if it taxes your central nervous system too much? I feel way more tired than I should.
Yeah, it can do. And this is a conversation I had with a client like about a year ago who went to try and break a record, and he took a ridiculous amount of caffeine. And I was like, why the hell did you do that? And it kind of like messed with his performance. It made him so jittery to start with.
Not everyone reacts well to caffeine.
No. It's something that you don't want to use too much of. Like if you use a little bit, it's okay. And like with most things, small amount, there's a certain threshold, and it varies between individuals.
Tolerance.
But you can just start, and I'm talking anything here, so you can take for that what it is. But people use too much thinking more is better, and more is not necessarily better. It will affect recovery. It can affect CNS, as you said there. I mean, Cybernetic, one of the best disabled strength athletes on the planet.
Yes.
And, you have to kind of think about other components when it comes to strength. It's like a lot of people say to me now that I've lost a bit of weight and I'm kind of not trying to be a pro. How much is your strength down? My strength is down on big gym lifts, but on certain strongman type of events, I'd say I'm actually like a shield carry, for instance. I'd say I'm better now than I was when I was a pro strongman. So it's kind of weighing up as an athlete where you need to be good at, and then understanding like a strongman isn't powerlifting, so you don't need to be like huge and kind of just blowing your head off and
of course
all these other things.
You've got to pace yourself, haven't you?
Absolutely. But yeah, it's a great question, and you certainly don't want to be using too much.
This is an interesting comment. I'm not sure I should read it out there.
Go on, read it out.
All right then. Face of the Stace. I was at Ultimate Scotland's strongest man woman today, and Glenn is infuriating. So misogynistic. Ooh.
Yes, I've heard that before about Glenn. I obviously wasn't in Scotland for Scotland's. I did see the results. Lewis Jack won.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations to Lewis. I haven't seen much else though. So yeah, I've heard things from clients of mine actually that have not been happy.
Interesting.
I've heard that the women's side of the sport with Glenn's comps are just treated as a bit of a side act, and I think UK's they were just made to wait for ages because they had to go first, and then he wasn't letting them go, and the rest had to stay at the arena all day, and yeah, unfortunately, not the best.
No. Heidi Forrington sitting on a wall in London watching your live stream. Heidi is in
down
the
to
UK.
London. Last time I spoke to Heidi, she was up in Scotland.
That's so cool. Thank you for the super chat, Heidi. She's coming to the
Classic.
Strongman Classic.
We'll make sure we see you then.
Yes. Don't be shy, Heidi. Just say, Liz, it's Heidi. And we will be responsive. But remember, I'm blind and deaf. So you really do.
Fred, thank you very much for gifting people memberships. We
bless
do
you, Fred.
Appreciate it.
Liz sliding into people's DMs but doesn't answer her own. Do you know what's happened?
This is so true, Monica.
Do you know what's happened to my Instagram? I used to just have one inbox. Now I've got more than one.
It's because you're
now there's more places for messages to get to die. Because I'm not even good on the main inbox. Deary me. When will you take a holiday to UAE again?
Oh, we'd love to get back to the UAE, wouldn't we?
We haven't been since 2021, the last WUS competition.
Yeah, that's unfortunately not a lot happening out there in terms of strongman at the moment. Hopefully there will be stuff, but we'd love to go back. It's very, we love it out there.
We do.
What are you thinking?
I'm just reading, skim reading.
Sumo deadlifted 520 though.
520.
Yeah. Did you see Pa's video?
That was 420. It
Well,
was supposed
did you
to
watch
be
the
where
video?
the camera goes down, then comes back up. There's water bottles behind him. What do you reckon? It was put on blocks. He got it locked out, and then they took the blocks away.
Pa's best deadlift in a comp is 400.
Okay.
He shouldn't be taking the piss out of Jamal Brown.
Pa playing games like always. Pa taking the pee. Any new Talking Strongman episodes coming, Lozzo?
Well, we spoke to Lynn Morehouse last week, which was put up.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
There's nothing
right
imminent,
now,
is there? Do you know what we might be able to do after the Strongman Classic next week? Is get Mitch on a live with us. Yes, because Mitch and Ashley are staying with us for a few days after the competition, little reunion. So we can get him on, can't we? Wrangle him on.
I'm sure he'll come on.
And then in just over 2 weeks' time, we're going to be in Estonia with Rauno and Ivers. So
yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get those guys live as well, because they're even funnier live.
There is a couple of people I want to go and have a chat with face to face, because they're just difficult to get hold of online. One of which is Juha.
Yes, Juha.
Yeah,
would be very
I'd
cool.
also like to go to see Don Reinhardt.
Yeah, Don. We
were almost there with Don. Don Reinhardt's the second person ever to win World's Strongest Man, and just unfortunately,
he was really keen to do the Talking Strongman, but he just couldn't figure out the computer side of it. And he was like, "Can we do it on the phone?" It's like, there's really no way to make a video work on the phone. But yeah, bless him. It would be nice to go see him. You know who else? Like Bruce Wilhelm. He was like, "Oh, if you're ever within a couple of 100 miles, just let me know. You can come."
Bruce would be awesome.
Bruce is hilarious. Well,
Right.
you have Bruce.
Yeah, we had Bruce
hilarious.
Wilhelm on, who was the first ever winner of Worlds. He no holds barred.
Yes, very no holds barred. Oh God, he was tearing into everyone, wasn't he? No prison. I love that. I can't wait until I'm old enough to get away with it. And people will say, "Oh yeah, you know," but she's older now. Oh dear. Just want to thank the person who gifted me a membership last week. I didn't realize until the following day and didn't get a chance to say thanks. It's very kind. Who was it last week? It was Fred and someone else. Who else? It might have been Rick. I think it was Rick.
I think they're the two that tend to gift the most. And I'm glad to have you on board now.
Yes. Lovely to have you as a member. Glenn seems quite old school. Glenn is extremely old school. Yeah. Very, very old school. Are you watching the Ashes?
I'm not. No, we
don't. What is it? Cricket?
No,
I don't even know what it was. What's
yes.
I'll shout lesbians. Oh, please don't. Liz always answers me on Insta. See, Rick, there you go. There's someone I answer. You obviously say interesting things. Hello, Dream Team. Hope you're doing well. From Levi. Levi is the owner of Smash and Pass, and a lot of you guys really like his t-shirts.
I'm often in his t-shirts. And
the Strongman Mario Brothers one, the Deadlift Doom one. Yes.
Got a few others as well.
Yes, the Strong one. That's a good one. Yeah, it's not like Mitch is too busy for a live or anything. He won't be too busy when he's with us. He's having a couple
Mitch
of days
is like
off.
Single-handedly collabed with everyone within like a month.
Oh, if you haven't seen it already, you have to go to Loz's Instagram, Big Loz WSM, and look at his most recent post. It's
my post.
Yeah, the Rocky 3 training montage.
If you're a fan of Rocky 3, you'll get it.
Honestly, you don't need to be a fan to get it. Like, it's the difference between coaching Mitch and coaching Bobby. He's like, Liz, I need this video made.
I've had the idea for ages. I'm just like, well, I'm useless. So
it was
Liz, can you do this for me?
And I'm like, how? Can you stick their heads onto these scenes? Oh dear. Train with Karu while in Estonia. We would love to see Asku Karu.
Asku, if you're about, come and train with us.
He often watches our lives. Asku, like, pull something big in front of us, and
we'll get it on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll get you on YouTube. We'll get you to the Deadlift World Championships. We'll get you everywhere.
We'll take you for lunch.
There's
Rauno.
Loz will buy you dinner. Where's Rauno? There he is. Hi, friends. Loz, how do you like OSG events? Will you win? Big cheesy grin.
Will I win?
So just a quick reminder.
Depends if some of my friends decide to pull out or not.
Yeah. So it's an overhead medley.
Overhead medley, which actually I like the events. I didn't at first. And this is just how I react every single time a competition kind of comes, because you've got events in your head that you're like, I really want these events. I really want these events. Because like, Rauno wants a deadlift for max.
Yeah.
I want a super yoke or something like that. You know, just whatever your events are good at, you obviously want them in a competition.
Rauno doesn't want a farmers.
But the events aren't bad for me because my strength is down, but the strength events are medleys. It's an overhead medley and a deadlift ladder. And I think that suits me better than a deadlift or log for max or really heavy log or something like that. So they're probably better for me than they could have been.
The weighted
this is and I know Rauno's not looking forward to this one, and I don't think anyone's going to be
guys. You have to
certainly the heavyweight guys.
You all have to convince Rauno to do OSG because he has 2 invitations of that same weekend, and we all want him at OSG for selfish reasons. I mean, maybe you don't want him.
Obviously, I want him there.
Yeah,
but he's obviously a very good strongman.
Yeah, he's a big threat.
He's going to be a big major competition.
But he's golden content.
Yeah. But I would also like to compete with him one more time, just for fun.
Yeah, that would be good.
But yeah, there's a few events. There's like the frame carry into the nickel stones, which should be pretty good for me.
Yeah, sticks and stones event.
Sandbag throw, I've got to put a bit of work in on.
You're a hit and miss.
It's one of those events you can just easily mess up.
Which you did.
I did it, yeah. Like training, it was going so well.
I know.
Literally like beating all my training partners.
Yeah.
And then you miss one. But that could happen to anyone on that type of event. And now we've got a good setup. We've got like more sandbags to train. So I'm training it twice a week now.
That's good.
So I'm really trying to
you just need to so you don't need, not even thinking about it anymore. You need to get that comfortable, don't you?
And my strength is way down on what it used to be. Like there's no way I could beat Rauno on a deadlift.
No.
Like if it was just a deadlift for reps or a deadlift for max, I have no chance of beating Rauno. On a medley, if it's not too heavy, it depends what the weights end up being. But there's a possibility I can beat him.
A case of who can move fastest between.
Like say, I don't know what it was a couple of years ago when they did the ladder. If it was 350 for that last one, or 340, I think it was for the Masters.
What, kilos?
Okay. For the Masters.
Yeah.
Because it's not the open.
That makes sense,
I can do that.
Yeah.
But if it's 400, no chance.
Yeah.
So
it won't be 400 for the Masters.
No. No, it won't. It won't be anything near 400. It's too heavy for.
To be fair, it won't be for open.
They tried that, and most of the guys failed that.
Yeah, that's true.
But a 340, 350, I can do that. And because of my grip strength and the way I deadlift, which is quite explosively, I can get through things pretty quickly.
Yeah. Heidi, yay! Finally caught a live. Yay! We're glad to have you with us, Heidi. What's this? CKS. Met Ivers at Strongman Champions League Holland a few weeks ago. He was smoking between events, and after the competition, I asked him why he didn't smoke a winner's cigar. He only said, I always smoke cigarettes.
I can imagine him saying it.
Ivers is hilarious because he's like, I mean, I used to smoke, so I get it as well. He's like, I can't breathe. Quick, get me a cigarette. He's like, he's fine again afterwards. It balances him out.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, dear.
Oh, the event Rauno is really looking forward to is going to be the loading into the drag.
Rauno is a great dragger.
Yeah, but with a 120-pound rucksack on us.
Backpack.
Rauno is probably the heaviest he's ever been.
Yeah, wow, he's got time to lose a bit of weight. Come on, Rauno.
He's going to have to.
Whenever he tries to lose weight, he gets heavier. When he doesn't try, he gets lighter. Very strange.
But I think everyone's going to hate that. Well, the heavier athletes are all going to hate that.
Yeah.
The lighter weight guys might love it, and girls.
Yeah. When's Rauno's comp in Estonia? So Rauno's not competing. It's the 22nd of July, isn't it? Saturday, the 22nd of July. And there is a competition in Estonia that
we're going over for.
Yeah, I think Rauno's refereeing it. We're just an attraction, like helping out however we can. But also there is going to be a max deadlift attempt on the 18-inch deadlift between Rauno and Ivers. So could see something impressive there. We will see. Excited to see. Yes, I like a block lift. You know what? We haven't really seen block lifts since 2011? Not in the major pro circuit. We very rarely see a block lift now.
Toby came and trained with me yesterday and smashed 3 PBs.
Oh, very good.
It was good to have you down, buddy.
Jamie, thank you so much for the super chat. Hi, everyone. Already got my tickets for the 2024 Strongman Classic Gold VIP. I may be very keen.
That's really keen.
That is keen. But
well, the
it's
Strongman
such
Classic's a good show. Yeah.
There's like, as long as you're not in the rafters, there's no, and like right at the back, then there's no bad seat there, is there? Like if you're anywhere near the front, it's such a great show. And
So
the atmosphere there.
Mitch, who's asking just below, I wear 2XL for.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've got 2XL. I'd have to check now. It's either 2 or 3.
To be honest, I believe I might remember. I think yours might have been sent as a 3XL, but a 2XL would fit you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're generous enough, aren't they? Yes. Rauno at OSG, but Loz will still win. Oh, cousin Fred with the smack talk.
But you got to understand, JF Caron's also competing.
Yeah.
And possibly Jerry Pritchett. And
JF's a problem.
Zadrunas and, you know, it's going to be, there's loads of good strongmen that could be competing.
Yeah.
Like,
Loz don't want him there.
I kind of, yeah. I want you to be there as like my coach.
Come and support it. Yes, come as a holiday.
Like, I'll go this year, then you go next year, okay?
Here we go. Look, don't dream. I will beat Deadlift because I can do hook grip. He's putting you in your place, Lozzie. Rauno's saying there's no situation where you would beat him on Deadlift. Loz is going to check a head-to-head now.
I'm going to check our head-to-head on Deadlift.
Do you know what, though? Weirdly, Rauno's deadlifts results have come up so much since about 2019. As fair, he was nearing 40, his deadlifts suddenly got really
He was always good for deadlifts, but his ability to just keep getting better as he's got older is fantastic.
Rauno's a great dragger. He is. Now I want to see Rauno in drag. No, Rauno is a good dragger. He's a good loader as well. He came second on the loading, beating some very fast athletes.
Bloody good strongman. Yeah. People don't give him enough credit. If you look at what he does in comps, he's bloody good.
People say we give him too much credit. Maybe we do. Maybe we should bring him down a peg or two. 80-kilo deadlift for reps.
We don't give him too much credit. He's a very good strongman.
There you go. Answer, Ari, the t-shirts, smash and pass tees are a half size up, so they're all oversized / comfy fit. If you want tight, go a size down. There you go. What was Loz's shirt size at his largest? It so much depends on brand. Brown? Yeah, about a 4XL probably. It's very biggest. Yes, Rauno got a membership. Rauno's been a member before, and he's like,
he just waits for people to gift him a membership.
He became a member, and then he saw these videos I did of him. He's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, shit. Who gifted Rauno a membership? Oh dear. Never mind.
But we're going to see Rauno soon.
Yes, we are. Yeah, in just over 2 weeks. Rauno can use emojis now, but he won't because he's a miserable git. He will not partake. Loz is still looking for the head-to-head. Deary me.
Harder to find on here.
Yeah.
You can't just search.
While we're waiting for Loz, who do you guys have winning? We put out our predictions just the other day, didn't we, for the Strongman Classic? Yeah. So we think it's going to be really, really close between Mitch and Evan, but we do think the events suit those two best. And then we think Tom in 3rd place, Trey in 4th. Although I'm not convinced of the absolute best events for Trey. But then we were a little bit torn on 5th, weren't we? Unfortunately, Pavlo Nekonechny's pulled out, as you guys will probably have seen, and he has been replaced by Gav the Bull Bilton. Look forward to seeing Gav there.
Yeah, the big question a lot of people seem to say is Bibby going to compete?
Oh, I hope so. I mean,
hope so too.
Bibby, bless him. Like, he's been through so much these last few years, like a civil war, his dad dying, which I know had a massive impact on him.
Yeah.
He has been through a lot. I'd like to see him.
I want to see him compete.
Yeah, just come in good shape and do really well.
And he's genuinely good. Like if he's in shape.
Yeah, he's only got a couple of weaknesses, and
we just haven't seen enough of him competing.
Yeah, so it's always hard to place him in a lineup.
Yeah.
Jamie, thank you for the super chat. My classic seats for 2024 right at the front. Had to stop clapping last year as my hands hurt so much. The atmosphere is awesome. It really is. It's such a great venue.
So me and Terry are doing the live commentary again, or like the stuff in between events.
Yeah.
And apparently we're sat just in front of the organ, up high, looking down on it.
Oh,
So that's going to be pretty cool.
That would be good. And also, you won't have that problem. Where were we? I can't remember. Leeds.
Yeah.
Oh, bless the fans. But you guys, like, you were only a couple of meters. There was a barrier separating Loz and Terry and everyone else, but everyone's shouting over while they're live on air. Loz, Terry, can we get a picture? Oh dear.
And me and Terry look like we're being really rude.
Yeah, like shut up. Oh dear. The moose for the win.
Do you know what's amazing about me and Rauno? Me and Rauno have only competed against each other 3 times.
Yeah, it's in full competitions. Yeah, it's mad. So Tom is coming in very hungry. Tom could well win. I wouldn't be surprised at all, but I do still think the events are much better suited to Evan and Mitch. Evan and Mitch are 2 of the very best on the nickel stones, and I think a couple of people could get between. Although, Tom has everything you need to be great at nickel stones. He's putting some decent distances. Yeah. They're very fast on the yoke. And like Bibby's fast as well. Who else is fast? We don't see Pavlo Cordiaca yoke much, but he's going to be fast.
I don't think he'll be as fast as them.
No, he won't be as fast as them. No.
He'll be decent, but Mitch and Evan will be.
Yeah. I think bar anything going wrong for
Bibby's very quick.
Yeah,
I've seen Bibby be very quick before. He's just not. We just don't know what kind of shape he's in.
Is it going to be the yoke with the 2 motorbikes?
No, it's a new yoke. I was speaking to Darren the other day. It's going to be like a big wooden frame. It apparently looks really cool, very similar to kind of what they use at the Rogue. So it's going to be like a nice, new, cool-looking bit of kit from what I've heard.
Let's look at some of these predictions. Jane agrees with me. Well done, Jane. I think Mitch. Rauno is a gem. Mitch, Evan, then Tom. That's the top 3 we've got. Evan, Tom, then Mitch.
I was looking at deadlift results between me and Rauno, and I saw a max deadlift, and Rauno pulled 505. I was like, what? But it was an elevated deadlift.
Okay. He'd done it before.
I remember that. He won the deadlift at the Summer Mania.
Oh, yeah.
It was the 18-inch deadlift.
Yeah, that's right.
I did not win the deadlift.
Mitch won't win, I promise you that. People said the same thing at Worlds. I think Evan wins. Would love to see sexy Pablo and Trey on the podium alongside. I hope Trey has a good competition. How do you think Trey's grip will fare on the nickel stones?
I don't know. I think if he's been shown how to hook grip them, should be better for him. He's another athlete with big legs, which doesn't always help. Yeah,
sometimes the shape of the athlete sort of matters more, doesn't it?
It'd be interesting to see him on them. A lot of people, the first time they use them, they do struggle.
Yeah, and he won't have used
because the rings are weird. One is thinner than the other. They're like razor wire on your hands. Yeah. They're just uncomfortable. It's just
Trey didn't do them at the Arnolds, did he? Because they had the Dinny road record in there. I know he did the stone over bar, but okay. Evan for the win. Mitch has been too busy lately, I fear, or I'm completely wrong. Face turquoise covering eyes. Oh, that didn't show properly. Yeah.
Who was that from?
That's CK5. For a big man, Bibby is fast. Bibby is freakishly fast. Really, really fast. Do you guys know what's wrong with Nekonechny's knees? Must be pretty bad if it's still bothering.
I don't know the exact issue with it.
Yeah. I think he's been training. It was his deadlift, wasn't it? As he was really starting to up the weights, because obviously he's someone who's doing the Deadlift World Championships in September.
Heidi's joined in gifting people memberships. Thank you very much.
Bless you, Heidi. Sat on a wall in London.
Like Humpty Dumpty.
Like Humpty Dumpty. How rude. How rude.
Heidi knows I love her. I'm just teasing.
I think Luke Stoltman will smash the world record Viking press with ease.
Oh, I'd like to see that, especially because Evan's talking about smashing it. It'd be good to see Luke Stoltman on it.
Yeah, I think Pavlo Cordiaca will be really good at it. Be interesting to see Trey on it. Trey won the overhead at the Arnolds. Yeah. I think like Mitch hasn't done Viking press before, but he's just one of those annoying people who's good at everything, isn't he?
He's getting good.
Yeah, He's getting good. The world's strongest man.
When he kind of goes through puberty and stuff, he'll be really good.
He'll be really good. Oh dear. Oh no, I'm on a plane during the Strongman Classic. Oh dear.
You'll have to watch it when you land.
Go offline completely.
Yeah, don't look at my Instagram for that day.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Is the psychology of the morbidly obese strongman different than normal, larger framed people who often struggle with body image issues? Prime, Shaw, Hall, and Thor always seem so confident. Well, the body composition is very different, isn't it, from someone who's just fat and 400 pounds?
Those 3 examples that you're using, they had a huge amount of muscle. Like all 3 of them carried a lot of muscle. Yes, they carried some body fat, but it's very different to just an obese, you take a 28 stone man.
I don't know what 28 stone
is. Like 400 pounds.
Yeah, okay.
180 kilos. Let's say. You take a 180 kilo man
who's just fat
compared to one of those guys. It's a very different look. And also they are training for something specific. So within what they do, they're very, very good. So that confidence comes with things like that. I've seen big guys get into sports like strongman or powerlifting, and their physique start to change, and their body weight doesn't change that much, but they start to add more muscle, and you do see that confidence kind of come through more. So I guess it depends. Like I do feel a lot of people use being fat and heavy as an excuse for strongman.
Yeah,
particularly at the lower level.
Yeah,
and that happens quite a lot.
Yeah,
but you can use strongman as a something to help your confidence, and you don't have to be that big. But if you are a bigger person and you start to kind of, even if you stay the same, but you start to get a bit more muscle and a little bit less fat, and it makes you feel better, that's a good thing. So you can't compare 3 guys that won World's Strongest Man compared to 3 people that weigh the same that have never trained in their life.
And that's not to say that strong men aren't self-conscious about certain body parts, just like everyone. Yeah, they're still human, aren't they? But they're very different to just fat people.
They are. And
that's not to say not
strongman's kind of changing a little bit, and it's a lot more athletic right now, and physiques are kind of getting a bit more lean and fitter. Fitness is definitely more important right now, which I think is good.
Look at Alexei, Europe's strongest man, Pavlo Cordiaca.
Yeah, no, I do think it's really good, particularly for the health of the athletes more than anything. But it's you train for something specific, and we've seen a lot of these guys like Eddie lost weight. I know he's put weight on now, which I don't get training for bodybuilding. But you do see a lot of the athletes, once they retire, try and lose some body weight and get fitter. And now we're seeing a lot of the athletes that are competing leaning up. I mean, Bobby Thompson's got abs right now.
I know. Bobby looks incredible. Yeah, it looks really good. Rick, timely reminder for all the new members after this live stream, go check the members extras. Yes, do.
Also, if you haven't checked it out, check out the 100 greatest moments video that Auntie Liz made.
Shit moments. You can say it, Lazo. It's fine.
I'll say it quietly.
Yeah. Oh. What have we got here? Kyriakos, Hitchmooper, Simpleton, and Trey Simpleton. How mean.
What are you looking at?
Andrew's comment, I think Mitch has been spreading himself too thin. Honestly, world's strongest man often do not do great in the first comp after the win. It's a good point. I mean, I remember Martin's, the first competition after his win was Wembley, and he was like near last place at one point. He managed to get onto the podium eventually. Mateusz won the show, but
it's a great point, and you've got to think. They've put everything into winning Worlds. Worlds is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Whatever anyone says, Worlds is the pinnacle.
Then they're super busy promoting themselves.
Then literally everyone wants a piece of them. Yeah. All the media stuff that they end up doing.
Influencers and collabs.
Mitch is collabing with lots of people. He's still training hard, but he's doing a lot of stuff on top of that. And I don't think he's going to be as good as he was at the Arnolds or at Worlds.
No.
But I still think a 90% Mitch is still dangerous.
Yeah, and he's just got some really good events, like the Nickel Stones. He's one of an event.
I'll tell you something about Mitch. He's got the attitude that he wants to. He wants people to always see him at 100%, trying his best. So if you're a new fan of the sport and this is the first time you get to see Mitch Hooper, he doesn't want to turn up just to make up numbers.
Never.
He is coming to try and win.
Yeah.
That's his philosophy, and he will give 100%. Whether he's at 100%, I can't promise that, but he will give 100% of what he's capable of that day.
Matty, silly question, but will Iron Bibby even be able to fit in the Viking press? I don't think it's that silly a question, because he is a large man. And also, if you look at like his, I mean, obviously a log is a log, but if you look at, say, an axle press, he takes the widest grip possible because he is a wide dude, isn't he? And it is narrow, the Viking press. So it'd be interesting to see.
It's narrow for him.
Narrow for him, yeah. Not for, not for me.
A normal person might find it quite wide.
Yeah.
For most strongmen, it will be fine.
It'll be,
but for Bibby, it will be narrow.
Do you think Eddie is in prep for a strongman competition?
Not at all.
No, not in a million years. No. I mean, he said himself on a video with Chloe Brennan, like he'd be lucky to deadlift 260 kilos or something like that. He's like, he put his body through so much. He wouldn't do it to himself again. Like, he'll do the team competition where he can dip in and do a little something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But he won't do a full competition again. I just can't see it.
Please tell me Eddie is still training for
isn't still training for bodybuilding.
I don't know. Every time I see something with Eddie, it's something different.
Sumo wrestler. He's very suited to sumo wrestling. Maybe he's bulking for that. Elliot, thank you for becoming a member.
He'd be good at sumo.
Yeah. No, did you see the video?
No.
He's pretty decent. Ben, thank you for the super chat. OSG Qualifier has a max ground to overhead event for an absolute world record. Which implement plus technique could get the most weight? Think crazy ideas like Steinborn squat into behind the neck jerk. Christ, I don't even know what Steinborn squat
is. That kind of sideways thing when you kind of lift it onto your back. You know, Liz has done it a few times at the Arnold's. So OSG qualifiers a max ground to overhead event.
What do you think could get the most weight? Well, I'd say out the rack would get the most weight.
They're not allowed to do anything from behind the neck, firstly, so they wouldn't be allowed to do a Steinborn squat. I think a great Olympic weightlifter has the best chance of putting the most weight up. Clean and jerk is going to be the best thing to do, which is why I don't really like online qualifiers. I prefer competitions. When I say I don't like online qualifiers, they're just not my preferred first choice. I think I like that they give anyone in the world an opportunity to get there. I don't like that people can manipulate things. People do cheat. I was talking to Lynn Morehouse, and they actually had one person upload results and used someone different for one of the events.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
That is crazy, isn't it?
You know, when people are going to these lengths to try and qualify, but when you get there, if you're no good, you're going to look like a damn fool.
Yeah.
So I prefer because they do lots of qualifying competitions throughout the world. So that's my preferred go-to. And then the online qualifier is, if that's all you can do and you want to kind of upload your numbers and see where you're at, then it's great. But I don't always like the events because it's normally an overhead and a deadlift. And I'm here kind of telling people a log and a deadlift are not the be all and end all for strongman. Unfortunately, for the qualifier, they are.
Yeah.
But you go to the competition and it doesn't matter.
No.
So there's so many other events to focus on.
Where is Alexa?
She's in bed.
Where she
should be.
Yeah, it's about 10 past 10 here. So she is fast asleep. She's got school in the morning.
Hot flipping mama.
Thank you for the super chat, cousin Fred. Mitch seems a bit like Zadrunas to me. It seems like he could do most competitions as a training session leading up to a bigger comp and still win most of them. Do you know what, though? It's such a different scene now than it was back then. I'm not sure anyone could get away with that anymore because it's just the depth of talent is huge. Like we're talking about the podium and a lot of people are leaving Trey Mitchell off the podium, for example. And, you know, Trey's 2-time winner of the Shore Classic. Trey's quite event dependent though, isn't he?
I think Trey is going to peak for the Shore Classic again.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I imagine he will.
What's the best Marius did at the Arnold's?
Oh, off the top of my head.
4th.
Was it 4th? I was going to say 5th. There you go, 4th. Yeah, Arnold's didn't suit Marius nearly as much as like Worlds, the Super Series and stuff like that. Europe's.
What's that?
Ooh, this one?
Yeah.
As a fan of the heavier weights in strongman comp, I think the lighter body weight and lighter weights are much more advantageous for the health of the athletes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You know, I was always a fan of big, heavy lifts, but I think it's good to make sure we're looking after the athletes as much as possible. And, you know, strongman isn't about just one lift. I think we always kind of get confused with the name because it's world's strongest man, but it's really world's best athlete to a degree.
Athlete,
yeah, strength athlete.
It's someone who can do everything, run with weight.
If you look at strongman from the start, it's being able to combine that ability to do lots of things involving strength, but different forms of strength.
Yeah. Eddie should do sumo. Love it. And Rick loves his mama. Oh, sorry. There's a private conversation going on between Rick and hip flipping mama over here. Did you get the answer? How many times you and Brown have been up against each other in deadlift? Is it just
twice? He beat me both times. Once,
there you go. There's your answer.
Once was a deadlift for reps at a Strongman Champions League in Lapland, which you came
No, I came to the year after.
Yeah.
You took your other girlfriend to that one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I remember now. We did a deadlift for reps with a bear. We deadlifted a bear.
I think they still used the bear the following year.
And Rauno did 12.
Was it a real bear?
Rauno did 12 to take the win, and I did 9. I was joint second with... Was I joint second? Let me check. I think Zadrunas might have beaten me. Where's the deadlift?
It wasn't a real bear, though, was it, Lozzo?
No, it was a stuffed bear.
It was a stuffed real bear.
So Rauno won with 12. Zadrunas did 10. I did 9. Joint with Martin Wildau. We both did 9.
And he was nicknamed the Deadlift Kid.
Yep. And then the other time we deadlifted was for Max with the 18-inch deadlift. He beat me on both occasions on the deadlift.
Kevin, I love how Gav Bilton is getting more opportunities this year. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of a few athletes, but still.
But Zadrunas won the competition and I was second.
Oh, there you go. You beat Rauno overall then.
Rauno was 4th.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But yes, we're very happy to see Gav get some more opportunities as well. Monica was having the conversation just last week about how the size, look, weight of athletes has changed a couple of different times. Yeah, and it does go through stages. If you look, last year, I think it was, we did a video, World's Strongest Man Getting Lighter. And we went through literally, and we've got like graphs and everything, every single common event in World's Strongest Man to see. And it's quite interesting, isn't it? You see the trends. Like there was a time where it went super heavy and then it comes back down, then it goes really heavy again, comes back down. It
definitely goes through trends. You see that with events as well. Because I think because I've been around so long and obviously I've studied the sport for so long, I remember seeing power stairs all the time. And then suddenly there's nothing for ages. I remember seeing block press in almost every competition.
Yeah.
And now suddenly we're starting to see things kind of come back.
Yeah.
Fingers, that's an event that kind of comes. Yeah. The axle, you know.
Dumbbell for reps. So these last year or so, we've seen dumbbell so many times. We've had enough now.
Dumbbell's all right. It's a good event. But it's nice to see different events.
Yeah. We like the variety as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Now we need a full video of Loz versus Rauno.
There's not a lot to show. We've only competed 3 times.
Yeah.
Rauno's...
There's some funny
Rauno's actually got better as he's got older.
He has.
Like he's always been good, but he's kept steadily progressing.
Yeah.
Whereas I was probably at my best between 2012 to 2017.
It's very strange though, because Rauno's been doing strongman for a really long time. He's a late peaker.
It just shows to like stick with it, you know.
Yeah.
Especially for younger guys that think they've got to be great at 19, 20. It doesn't matter. What matters is you keep getting better.
Yeah. Dan, we did talk about this earlier. We thought it's a bit awkward, a bit weird. But
I found it a bit strange, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But
we're really looking forward to meeting Jamal, aren't we? And to seeing what he can do.
I want to see back to Parr when he was second at Britain's. Focused on his training.
He was taking it really
His
seriously.
attitude was focused on his training. I like Parr being funny, but sometimes he takes it too far. And Parr, genuinely, when he's in shape, is a good strongman. He's a good all-round strongman. He's not someone that's an amazing deadlifter or presser or something.
He's got some really good events.
A good, solid strongman. And I think if he can kind of get that head right and focus on that, rather than worrying about internet content and stuff like that. I mean, I get it. He's trying to probably get noticed and, you know, earn some money, I guess. but he's still good enough to try and, I think if he focused, he's still got a few good comps in him.
Yeah.
Whereas if he just does this, I think he's going to end up being like, people will start kind of thinking of him as like the strongman clown, which I don't think he really wants. Maybe he does. But he's a good athlete, and I'd like to see him. I know his coach wants him to focus.
Yeah, poor Dell.
But he's got talent.
Yeah, of course he has. Of course he has.
Just sometimes
we've seen it.
He's a frustrating person sometimes, from a coach's point of
perspective.
View, because you know that he's capable if he puts the effort in, but he seems to be more focused on. I get that's a good analogy. Is Obus 2.0. And I get it. If it gets you noticed, then that's the way it wants to be. But I'm more of a fan of being the best you can be.
Yeah. I couldn't cope. There's so much we could do and say and be more controversial to get more clicks and views and stuff. But to me personally, it's not worth it. I can't be anything other than myself.
No,
I feel like
we love the sport as well. You want.
I'm too old to pretend to be a heel or something.
Yeah,
it's just not.
Us.
No, it's not us at all, is it?
I think if you focused and be like, right, Britain's strongest man next year, I'm going to go there and give 100%. That's what I'd like to see from Par. Stop trying to get invites to comps that you're not in good enough shape for right now. That probably might sound harsh, but you see it all the time. He's trying to get into the short classic. He's trying to get into these other comps where right now he's not that top 10 athlete. Focus on Britain's strongest man. You're doing that. Go there and try and win it.
Yeah, have really targeted training.
And he came second a couple of years ago. He is capable. He's got great events. He just needs that focus. I feel he's probably going to slip further down.
Elizabeth makes a really good point here, because I watched this video and I felt really bad for Par. After the athlete announcement, the group announcement, sorry, he was beat before he went out.
He was.
And but he shouldn't have been, and he actually did really well. If you look at his performance,
his individual results weren't bad at all.
He did really well. Yeah. So I think actually he did better overall than Luke Stoltman, who did make the final, and Par didn't because he was in a much tougher group. Yeah. So
that group was.
Oh, it was
horrible.
Ridiculous. Group 1 and 3 were both ridiculous in the end. 5 was a bit of a foregone conclusion. 4 was a mess. Just nothing. No one. Well, a lot of people didn't expect Jaco Schoenwinkel to be as good as he did, and obviously we didn't see what we expected to see from Kevin Ferris and Bish either. And then what was 2? That was Alexi's group. That kind of went how we expected it to as well. Yeah. But no, we know he's got it. It's just bringing it all together, isn't it? Irish Rob Obus. No one needs that. Oh dear.
What was that about genetics up there?
It's in guys' genetics to try and pick up the heaviest weight he can. That's the main draw to strongman for me, but I get that not all that compete are genetically gifted like some of the bigger guys.
Everyone that competes at the top level is genetically gifted.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
To different degrees, but they're all genetically gifted.
Oh, come on. We all know Uncle Loz is the Ric Flair of strongman.
I want to be a high-flying, limousine-riding, kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing son of a gun.
I don't get the reference. Oh, it keeps jumping down. Any news on what giant show Matt Ragg will be invited to? Reckon that bloke could upset some big names. So what have we had so far? There's only one more lineup to be announced, and that's the World Tour Final, I believe, because we've already got the lineup for the World Open, which I don't think Matt Ragg is in. And obviously he's not doing the Strongman Classic, so it has to be the World Tour Final.
Yeah. So
that would be a really interesting one. And presumably Jaco Schoenwinkel as well will be in the World Tour Final.
Yeah.
I know he had did he end up having
they might
surgery?
end up inviting him next year. Yeah. That's happened before. So
yeah. Although that's supposed to happen with Tyler.
Yeah.
Is Tyler Cotton competing here this year? I can't remember. He's doing the Strongman Champions League England.
Yeah, he's coming to that.
But he should be doing a Giants Live this year as well. I'll remind them. Guys, they're like, fuck off, Liz. Stick your nose up. It's Mitchell from another planet genetically. Asks this.
Yes. Yeah, Mitch's genetics are just not normal. Causes me a problem as a coach, because normally you're telling people you've got to take it, as a coach, I'm like,
you try and get them to follow a certain
no, everyone's different. And when someone comes up to you and they're like, Can I get to this level
Ooh.
in such and such time? This is everyone's favorite question. Do you think by 2024 I can be world's strongest man? You're like, the reality is probably not. It's going to take even a genetically gifted person a long time to
But
get
Mitch
to
has
top level.
disproven that.
And Mitch Hooper comes along and just kind of, wins it.
Yeah.
There are freaks out there, and you may well be a freak, but the majority of us aren't freaks. If you think Kiriashkovsky, amazingly gifted athlete, amazingly talented, has never won world's strongest man. I am very gifted.
Yeah.
Terry Hollins is very gifted. None of us have ever won world's strongest man. It's a very hard title to win. All you got to do is focus on being the best that you can be. And I use that analogy and that advice to every single person I coach, whether you are Mitch Hooper or a complete beginner. Your focus should be no limits on where you can get to, but you have to focus on the next goal, which is you improving. So if you're a 100-kilo deadlifter, focus on getting better. If you're a 400-kilo deadlifter, focus on getting better. That's all we can control.
Oh, God, sorry, that probably sounded awful. Randy's here, late here, but so glad to see your faces.
Glad you could make it,
Everyone
Randy.
as well, not too hot. We're good, thanks, Randy. It's not that hot here now, is it? It's
No,
cooled
it's cool
down
now.
this last week.
I know in some parts of the States it's been really hot.
Yeah. Are you still looking at buying a house this year, or has the interest rate put you off? The interest rate is putting us off massively. Like, we've got the deposit, we're sort of ready to go, but we don't want to go because the interest rate right now
It's just not a good time, is it?
It's not a good time to lock into an awful rate. So, like, we were talking the other day, weren't we? We're like, we've got everything we want except the house, but the house will come and it'll be worth it when it does. But yeah, we'll
get there. We'll get there.
Keep
working hard, keep trying to do what we can do, and we'll get there eventually.
It's Schoonwinkel. Okay, he has the best name.
He does have a great name.
He got injured at Worlds in the final, didn't he? On it was actually on the dumbbell, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Even though he took quite a dramatic tumble on the first event, the shield carry, but he hurt himself on the dumbbell.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you give the video a like, please.
Yeah, that was a juicy bit of gossip. Tyler Cotton just delivered his son, literally outside the house on the way to the truck. His wife gave birth. I spoke to him. I said, "That's how you want to do it, though. No, Joe,
no messing around.
Wham, bam. Thank you, man. Get back in the house. Call a Deliveroo." Perfect.
Yeah, you gave birth at home.
I did, and it was planned. But because I wanted home comforts, good food, Christmas tree backdrop, because she was a December baby, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to boss everyone around in my own space. Do you think it's possible to get to elite level strongman starting over the age of 30?
Yes, I do. There's been people that have proven that they can. Mike Burke started over 30. Mark Felix started over 30. Others as well.
Brownell got much better after 30.
Yeah. The key is, genetics are obviously important. How beat up your body is. There's a lot more people starting the sport later now that are getting really good. We're seeing new athletes develop as masters as well that never competed as, when they were younger, but they're progressing and getting better. It's good to see.
Elizabeth Seam is 500-gram clean and jerk. Oh, Elizabeth. Mitch can still win the big four. That would give him the best year ever. Yes,
that's his goal. That's what he wants to do.
Win the Shore Classic and the Rogue Invitational.
Win everything.
He's won everything he's competed in so far. He's only done 3 comps so far this year, hasn't he? Australia's Strongest International, Worlds, and the Arnolds. So
when Loz meets people and they ask what he does he say coach or former athlete? What do I say?
You say, I used to be a professional strongman. And they go, oh, like the balls, the big stone balls.
Yeah,
and you say, yeah. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I coach athletes now instead. That's what you
coach, commentate.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Probably just say that I'm sort of still involved in the sport.
Yeah. Where are we? At our son's birth, we ordered a Domino's at home during the contractions. They sped up very rapidly, so I ended up at the delivery ward with piping hot pizza in hand. That's one way to do it.
What's the John one about?
Loz is a YouTuber now. Surely that's what both of you say. Absolutely not. Do you know what, though? If you Google Laurence Shahlaei, it does come up YouTuber before anything.
That must mean our YouTube channel is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah. It's Like I feel
Jack of all trades, I'd say.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
You're a good coach. You're good at other stuff too, obviously. Why did Graham Hicks withdraw from the Shore Classic?
Hicksy is very focused on his deadlift. He's trying to really come in and smash the deadlift. And I think he knows he needs to stay fully focused on that. Spoke to him the other day. He's feeling good, which is always nice with Hicksy.
Yeah.
And his 4:10 for 5 was unbelievable. I'm interested to watch what his prep is like over the next few months. Like I said, I've not seen anything that I think someone's going to pull 5:05. I think for 5:05 to happen, you've got to be doing 4:10 for 8 as a minimum. That's kind of where you need to be. I think Hicksy could pull 480. That's what I reckon, which is monstrous. This is not me saying Hicksy can't do it. The 480 is frigging huge. And if he goes and pulls 5:05, fair play. I'd love to see it. I just personally don't see anyone pulling 5:05 as it stands with what I've seen.
I'd really like an extra weight jump at the Deadlift World Championships. Suddenly jumped up. You're a strong tuber.
Strong tuber.
Yeah. What you do for the sport is so beyond just a former athlete or just a coach. That's why I was curious how you go about saying it.
Thank you.
Like if people want him to elaborate, he says like, "Oh, we're still heavily involved in the sport." But that's about it, really, isn't it?
The same. I've created a few businesses within the sport, which is basically what we've done. And I love that I'm involved and hopefully helping in some way.
Loz, what is or was your day job when not doing strongman?
I've had lots of jobs over the years. I've been coaching since I was 15.
Yeah, because you used to coach
table tennis. I used to coach nationally for one of the biggest clubs, a club called Grove Table Tennis Club, actually. And I used to coach all over the country. And then was working with juniors, playing on the national squad and stuff like that. Been coaching in the gyms since I was 18, PTs and stuff like that. And I've had a number of jobs over the years. I had my own mobile cafe, worked in a shoe shop, which was terrible, worked in a petrol station. I worked at a school as a school sports coordinator, so organizing events for primary schools. And I was based in a secondary school kind of within a certain area. Door work. I've done lots of jobs. And I, in my naive head at 21, was like, I want to be a professional strongman. And I just did any job that allowed me to go and train. I would never advise people to do what I did. I was stupid and so stubborn that I wanted to be a pro strongman. Luckily, I managed to do it. Was not paid well to do it, but managed to scrape enough money to kind of live off and do strongman. Eventually got to a level where I was pretty good and had a couple of years where it was okay. Certainly nothing special. The money in strongman wasn't great. I'd say 2016 when I won the Ultimate Strongman World Championships, I won Europe's Strongest Man, won a number of other competitions as well. And I worked on a film.
Yeah,
it was
that
probably
was your
my best year when I was doing strongman. But an injury would suddenly you kind of no income coming in and stuff. And it wasn't like there was the sponsorship deals that there are now. Or the other opportunities, but I was just determined that I was going to be a professional athlete. And then obviously after 2019, I was still working, doing coaching and stuff like that. But I decided to really focus on the business side of things rather than, I was like, okay, you're done, Loz. You're not a pro athlete anymore. It's time to focus on providing for the family. So since then, that effort that I put into being the best athlete I could be, I put into providing for my family. So my coaching business, the YouTube stuff that we do, a couple of other little things that we work on as well. I've literally become a workaholic. So has Liz. And
I've always been a workaholic.
Yeah. People are like, how do you kind of manage to do everything? It's just prioritizing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I sometimes don't think it's as hard as people make out.
No.
Like some people say, oh, I've got 10 clients. How do you cope with how many clients you've got? Well, I just break it down into days and I work hard. I mean, I'll be on my phone and my computer later replying to people, but I love what I do and it's given me an opportunity to try and provide for my kids and stuff. So until they've got everything that they want and I can back off, I'm going to keep working hard.
I'm a bit behind the live, but that comment about Par doing better than Luke but not making the finals because of the group he was in makes me mad. Same happened to Alexi. That's be a better way. Do you know what? The absolute worst was what happened to Bobby. So we did a video straight after Worlds. What if all 30 athletes competed against each other? Out of the top 10, 9 of them who did make the final were in that top 10. The only one that wasn't was Luke, who I think came 15th overall in the everyone. But Bobby Thompson would have been in 5th place. 5th! So he had one of the absolute best group performances overall and still did not make the final. So we would like to see a better way. I like the OSG way of doing things, to be honest, where
I like the OSG.
Everyone competes against everyone in all the events, and then they cut off after like 4 events or whatever. They cut it off. If you're not in the top 10 at that point, then you're out. And then they rescore the top 10 as if the other 20 guys or whatever it is were not there, and it was just you guys against each other. So there's always incentive to do well because your points carry through to the final. And I just think it's a real common sense way of doing it that stops the unfairness that can come with the groups.
Yeah. Oh, I like the way they do it though.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I don't think anyone ever feels like they've been screwed. Like, yeah, it's unfortunate if your absolute best events in the final and not in the qualifiers, but that's strongman, isn't it? You're never guaranteed your best events. So it's just what you have to deal with.
David, Loz, are you actively pursuing arm wrestling, or is it more just a hobby for you since you are already a strength-based athlete? Liz, how do you feel about arm wrestling?
He came home today. So he arm wrestled earlier this week against a Romanian and British champion. I filmed it actually, and it's going out on YouTube on Tuesday. Really nice guy.
Adrian Popescu.
Yeah, really good as well. And then you went arm wrestling training tonight, didn't you? And he come home and he's literally got his elbows and ice. He's like, I've got toothache in my arm. I can't do it twice a week, maybe once a fortnight.
Arm wrestling for me is very much a hobby that I enjoy. I love watching arm wrestling, follow it pretty religiously. I try and follow all the major comps that are going on, both nationally and internationally. And I really enjoy just doing something that is just a hobby for me. I want to get better. I have no aspirations of being a champion or anything like that. I just want to improve, and I have improved, and I feel like I've got a lot better, but I've got no dreams of being a world or even a British champion at arm wrestling. I just want to go down on a Sunday when I'm free and pull and maybe do a few smaller competitions, maybe have a super match, but as long as I'm enjoying it and getting better, that's all I care about. It's tough. I've arm wrestled 3 times on the table in the last week, plus I'm training for strongman. I had a tough event session yesterday and my elbows were just killing me today. I think once a week is more than enough. And arm wrestling with Adrian in the week was an hour and a half of constantly on the table almost, whereas normally I go down the club, I'll do 10 minutes on the table, then I'll have a 5-10 minute rest and go on again. The video is not an hour and a half long. No, you'll be pleased to hear. I find you're not a huge fan of arm wrestling. I don't mind it once the match is going. I get really frustrated watching that people set up for a match and all the tomfoolery that goes on. I think that is one of the things that a lot of people don't understand with arm wrestling. It kind of all the messing around that you can't see and can't tell. Yeah. At the start, because they're trying to do things to get their strongest position. Of course, yeah. And I know what they're doing, and it still pisses me off. Just like, behave. Let's just get on with it. I just, the fact that takes longer than the matches annoys me. Someone says shoe salesman Al Bundy. I used to love Al Bundy. What's the chance Marcus Crowder gets an invite to the Deadlift Champs after his £1,000 mammoth bar, Paul? What's a mammoth bar? Mammoth bar is a longer bar deadlift. Okay. I don't think he's going to get an invite. If he was doing £1,000 on a standard bar, yes. And even then, you wouldn't get an invite. You would be in a position to pester Giants live and convince them that you're worthy of an invite. That's kind of how it works, isn't it? I spoke to Chris van der Linde because he competed there last year, didn't he? And I said, like, what would you tell people? And he's like, just, keep trying, keep asking, keep putting yourself out there and doing the big weights. But Giants Live have basically said, if you want to be a guest lifter at the Deadlift World Championships, you need to be pulling £1,000. But the expectation is it would be
on a conventional deadlift standard bar. Wouldn't it?
But I don't think anyone's going to get invited now to this year's
Not
show.
now. No.
Like someone I think should be invited to the Deadlift World Championships is Bobby Thompson.
Yes, 100%.
Bobby Thompson won the deadlift at
the Arnolds
this
yeah.
year. He's one of the best deadlifters in strongman.
Yeah.
And he's not been invited. So, it's not just, there's lots of great deadlifters out there, but they've only got space for a certain amount.
Jamal's actually the only guest lifter as well this year.
I believe Hicksy's a guest lift. I don't think Hicksy's doing the full comp.
Is he
he's
not?
Just doing the deadlift.
Oh, okay.
I think. I might be wrong.
When they did the initial announcement, Jamal was the only one who had guest lifter on his picture, but who knows? This made me laugh. Rick, he included a link for all your Loz and Liz merchandise, and if you want info for Liz coaching you, Loz coaching you. I am also a coach. If you didn't know, I coach Rauno, and I take payment in lattes. But very, very iffy ways of working. Cousin Fred, thank you for the super chat. Okay, Loz, let's get real. How is that new car?
It's very nice, thank you. I do enjoy driving it.
Loz is like, if we're not going to buy the house, I'll buy a new car. Oh dear. The OSG way is best. Yeah, we like OSG way.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the best current Masters strongman, not counting Brian? It's hard to say because we haven't seen them.
I haven't seen people who like Zadrunas is the current champion. Rauno, if it wasn't for the Farmer's Walk, probably would have been the champion. So event dependent.
If it was countback, he would have been the champion as well, rather than the last event rule.
JF Caron is coming back from a horrific injury, so we really don't know what kind of shape he's in. But if he's in any kind of shape like he used to be, he's going to be up there. I would say one of those guys. I think Rauno, in my opinion, Rauno's Zadrunas or JF.
If we're not including Brian.
Yeah. Brian obviously is.
Yeah.
They would be my picks if I was kind of.
You're not put yourself in there.
No. I believe I have a chance. I wouldn't put myself as a favorite. I think I'm going to need a really good performance. My static strength is too far down, I think, to be a favorite. I might be able to pull something out of the bag, but I wouldn't put myself as a favorite. Those three I would put above me.
There you go. Palmer Strongman, thank you for the super chat. Next weekend, I'm competing in the strongest man of the Netherlands. How would you warm up for a 400 plus kilo yoke without touching the yoke? Just going to quickly get some water.
This is something that we have to suffer with in strongman sometimes. You don't get a chance to warm up. Ideally, you want a yoke that you can kind of pick up or like a squat bar or something. But I've done competitions where there's just nothing and you've got to get under. So I'll go try to have a pickup of the implement. And sometimes I've seen stars doing that, but just that one pickup suddenly kind of conditions you for the event. But yeah, it's not ideal when they don't give you adequate warm-up facilities or a lighter yoke to kind of warm up with in the background. But unfortunately, some strongman comps aren't the best organized. Now in better comps, you tend to have lighter equipment to warm up with in the back. Oh, I don't know what's going on there.
Hey, Riplin. That's my feeling with strongman. I'm training 4 times a week during before doing my work and loving doing it. But don't think I'd ever want to be a pro. Definitely a musician first.
Yeah, look, you don't have to be a pro. I think this is something within the fitness industry that people become confused with. Everyone's like pro bodybuilder, pro arm wrestler, pro strongman, pro whatever. You don't have to be a pro. Just enjoy lifting. Enjoy improving you. That's what it's all about. That's all any of us can do is focus on improving ourselves.
This is how I feel, Jacob. Yes. Same with powerlifting. Love watching the highlights. Don't like watching it live. Exactly. That's how I feel. Yeah. An edited version.
Bye, Monica.
Bye, Monica. Why did Jamal get invited, given that he hasn't pulled a £1,000 conventional?
I believe he has pulled a £1,000 conventional, even if it is just in the gym. I don't think he's certainly not done it in a comp.
It doesn't have to be in comp. They will take gym lifts. I don't know, to be honest.
I think honestly,
the
reason Jamal, he's very popular.
Same reason Larry Wills was invited to the log lift world championships in 2000.
I have a training partner who is a very, very good log lifter, and a lot of people think he should be invited to the log lift championships. And I always tell him, you're not going to get an invite to the log lift championships.
Because if you're not in with a shot for the record, you have to have something else to offer them, like a big following that's going to draw new eyes.
I'm talking about Jack Osborne, who I would say is the third best log presser in the UK behind Hicksey and Luke Stortman. He's not lost an overhead event in about the last 8 competitions that he's done. 200 plus kilo log lifter, no problem. But he hasn't got a big enough following, and he's not good enough all round yet. So we're just trying to focus on him improving all round, and it's really paying off because he's now starting to qualify for bigger comps. Whereas if he just focused on the log, he wouldn't be getting better as an all round athlete. So at the moment, it's about getting good as you can all round, and then maybe in a few years he'll have an opportunity to go for it. But I think people get too obsessed with records. Just get better all round. Be a good strongman.
Nicola, have any of your kids ever shown an interest in the sport? Is it something you would want them to get into? My 12-year-old niece is very interested in starting training. Probably the youngest. Like, she wants to do everything, doesn't she? And she wants to be an athlete. She wants to be a lifeguard. She wants to be this. She wants to be that.
Yeah, she's just a young girl that loves being active, isn't she? I'd love my older daughter to get into it. I think genetically she's very good. If you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said no, I don't want them to get into it. But there's a lot more opportunities now, and things have improved. And my older daughter, I think, could be very good. She just has no interest in sport whatsoever. She's more into
very
drama,
strong.
but just freakishly,
she's
strong.
Just turned 14, and she's 5'10". She's beast, isn't she? She's really strong as well, but she just wouldn't. But the youngest to be determined probably wants to go more down the gymnast route, doesn't she?
And Lewis, who's my stepson, Liz's son, he's actually just showed a bit more interest wanting to come to the gym. So like summer holidays are coming up, and he wants to come and train with me a couple of times a week, which is great.
He wants to get a bit bigger because he's not got Loz's genetics, obviously. He's quite skinny, isn't he? Lewis, bless him.
But just with all of them, it's just trying to keep them active and doing something.
What happened to Andy Black? You don't hear much about him. Well, Andy did Britain's Strongest Man this year in January.
He's doing OSG Europe's, I believe.
So Andy's a bit of an interesting one because he got like a really late call up to the 2021 Deadlift World Championships. And he was very, very new to the sport at the time. He's an example, I think, of someone who was probably thrown in at the deep end. Like he did okay there. He really held his own. But then maybe he was getting too many invitations. And when you're still developing as an athlete, we kind of saw the same thing with Gav Bilton. And we're now really seeing Gav start to improve. But Andy's got everything it takes to be really good. Like, he's genetically very gifted, isn't he?
I think Andy needs to just go away and keep working hard. I think sometimes you start doing, I've said this before, like doing well in one comp is fine. But to compete against the top guys on a regular basis, you need to be really, really good and ready for that level. And Andy's still got a lot of things he's got to get better at. So he just needs to go away and work hard and improve. But he still can. There's nothing stopping him. He's just got to be careful, understand that this pressing is going to take time, not to rush things.
He's someone who started it a bit later, though. He's only just like 33, I think he is.
He started much later as well, like you say. So it's a tough sport. There's so many good guys. And events vary in comps. I think if you do too many at that high level, it can really knock your confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think he just needs to go and do what he is doing, trying to qualify for OSG, stuff like that, and build himself back up.
Riplin, I miss Countback. I do too. I miss Countback. Billy, Loz, you can sleep in a car, but you can't drive a house.
This is true.
Interesting one from Malcolm. Does Bobby feel like he isn't getting the recognition he deserves? Because he may be right.
Yeah, I think he does, to be honest. And I think he does deserve a bit more recognition. He's a very, very good athlete.
Yeah, he should get more invitations, definitely. Bobby's good enough. He's proven it. Twice now he's been third at the Arnolds. Like, Worlds is never going to suit him as
Bobby
well.
is America's strongest man.
Yeah.
And the last 2 years he's come third at the Arnold's. He's a very good strongman.
Yeah. I've always liked the World's Strongest Man setup. Hearing about the OSG way, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. OSG just makes more sense. We'd love to see Bobby compete more and get more invitations. Oh my God, Liz, those nails look dangerous. Yeah, they're a little bit sharp. Liz drinking her water reminded me of Eddie Hall drinking anything. What does Liz do for work? I am a dosser. No, I work on YouTube full time, believe it or not. And I work for Loz for his other business as well, Laurence Shahlaei Limited.
You do a lot of the admin stuff, don't you?
Yeah. Accounting and boring stuff. But
Liz used to have a very good job and he gave it up to work for us.
I did. Yeah. I in 2020 I took a year-long career break just to sort of see if we could make it work, and never went back today.
So far we're still here, still trying.
But my expertise are in audit, and my specialist area is right to work. So there you go. Visas and shit like that. But don't use any of that now, do I?
I need to correct Elizabeth here because she is so much more than a videographer for me.
Ah, you're sweet.
Like, she does do the videography, but
and
she
editing.
does everything. And you know, she's also my wife. So I wanted to say that you are more than a videographer.
Thanks, Lozzie. Oh, who is it? I always offend.
I know I tease you most of the time, but I've got to give you some compliments occasionally.
Thanks. I put on on a behind the scenes video from a competition. I put Joe's name up, and then I put video, like official strongman videographer. He's like, Liz, I run official strongman. I was like, oh, sorry, Joe. Didn't know. I kind of did know.
Liz, are you still working on the IFSA split video?
Oh, do you know what? No, I haven't started it, if I'm totally honest. I've got the script for it, but what I really want to do, I don't want it just to be B-roll voiceover script. I want interviews with the people involved and their take on things. I want it to be like a proper documentary, you know? So I've got the layout of it, but we need the people, don't we? And I guess some of it might be tough to get some people to talk.
Yeah.
But I think other people might be very willing. I have to try and work my magic on them.
Jane, enjoy swinging her kettlebell in the garden. Good stuff. Will we see you at SCL, Jane? It was good to see you at the Masters Con.
Yes. Problem is, if you don't...
Jane brought me chocolate.
Yes, Jane did bring you chocolate.
I like people that bring me chocolate.
Yeah. Problem is, if you don't monetize your hobby, you'll eventually have to focus on work.
This is true.
Yeah. I guess it depends how big a part the hobby... What am I trying to say? How big a part of your life?
Well, if you're monetizing your hobby, then you never work a day in your life, do you?
Well,
Which is that, like, we love what we do. We spoke about this the other day. We're like, what would we do if we won the lottery? We'd still do what we do.
Yeah, we said we'd buy the house outright. We'd set up trusts for the kids. We wouldn't tell anyone. We'd buy our mum's new places, and then we'd carry on as we are and keep working.
We love what we do.
Yeah, so
I would coach less people. And we'd probably do less videos, but maybe better videos.
I could hire people to do all the filming and editing and everything. They would be the best videos.
Yeah. But we genuinely love what we do, don't we?
Yeah, I would just be director.
Hermes versus Levin was the most exciting match of all time. You had to see that live. Goosebumps. I would have loved to have seen that live. Hopefully, Levin will be injury-free and back soon.
The best 3 under 6 foot strongmen.
Ooh, well, that's debatable because some of them claim to be over 6 foot.
Yeah,
not necessarily are.
This is the problem with the like build heights. They're not always accurate. Was Gary Taylor was under 6 foot?
He's listed as 6 foot. I don't think he's 6
not
foot.
6 foot. Come on. If he's 6 foot, then I'm 5'10". It's like Darren. What was Darren saying? He was 5'9". I stand eye to eye with Darren. I was like, you're not. And they all say they've shrunk. Mark Felix.
I'll tell you. One person that comes to mind is Vitatis Lalas.
Yes.
He's definitely under 6 foot and one hell of a strongman.
Yeah.
I can't come up with 3 right now.
No. Was Marius 6 foot?
Apparently.
But you stood next to Marius. Was he 6 foot?
Potentially.
Potentially.
He wasn't a midget.
No, of course not.
He could well have been 6 foot.
Yeah.
He might have been
Reigns was very
5'11",
short, wasn't he?
He might have been 6 foot.
How tall was Stumpy?
Yeah,
Reigns?
but Stumpy was never a great strong. Like
he was good for.
He was good for his height, but you could. I'd say Rob Kearney's a better strongman than Stumpy.
Yeah.
In terms of achievements.
Yeah.
Rob's won comps. Stumpy never won anything.
Yeah.
I don't mean that disrespectfully.
No.
It's just you can't compare the two in terms of how...
Andrew Reigns, for those who are like his nickname was Stumpy. We didn't make that up, did we? Oh,
absolutely, Rick. A couple more years, he'll be ready, and he understands that as well, which is a great thing with Jack. He doesn't rush things. He knows it takes time. He's been lucky enough to have me mentor him since he was 15, and a lot of people will always tell you, "Oh, you're going to be amazing straight away," and I'm just like, let's just keep getting better. And he's done that, and this year he's really stepping up now. He's qualified for the SCL in Gloucester. He's going to be competing in a good international comp against Europe's strongest man, which is going to be cool for him. And he's got England's strongest man, which could be a chance for him to get to Britain's. So he's really starting to kind of shine through now and do well.
Lallis or Rob Kearney, I'd say best under 6 foot.
I'd say Lallis. Lallis is better than Rob. No disrespect to Rob, but in terms of what they've won.
Yeah, Lallis has a much better record. Dude won the Arnold and came second at World 6 months later. Yeah, he had a great year that year.
Second at Europe. He was a phenomenal strongman for a few years.
He's about 5'10". Who are they talking about? 5'10" or 11? Can't remember who I was asking about now. Rob would be dangerous if he was 6'5". Rob's so impressive because he was an under 105, and he's not like.
It's such an interesting debate saying if someone was like, would he be any better?
But no, possibly.
He might be worse.
Well, yeah.
All you can be is be the best that you can be.
Yeah.
And Rob is the best Rob that he can be. If he was 6'5", he might not have been as good as he is overhead. And his yoke might not have been as good. It's just so many. You just don't know.
It can help in some areas, but hinder in others. Bobby should be at all major comps at this point. Yeah, he should definitely have refusal of all major comps. Like, Bobby, would you like to do it? Yay or nay? I agree with that. Bobby's easily good enough.
Yeah. And let's remember, Bobby beat Trey, America's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
And the Arnolds.
Yeah, Bobby has beaten him. Obviously Trey beat him at Worlds, but they actually didn't compete directly. Actually, no, because if you look at the go back to the groups, what if they all competed against each other? Bobby's group performance was better than Trey's, but Bobby didn't make it out of the groups because he had to.
They're both great strongmen, but I'm just trying to.
There's arguments for both.
For both, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Scotty Lace, thank you for the super chat. Hope things are well. Not sure if it's been asked. What did you think of Hicksy's 410 by 5 video? Do you think he could get 5?
I thought his 410 for 5 was phenomenal. Do I think he can get 5 or 5? Not yet. That's me just being honest. 410 for 5, absolutely incredible. But I still don't think that's good enough to do 505. That's all I'm saying.
What's this nonsense here? Liz is an influencer. I can't even influence my children to listen to me, so probably not. But thanks.
What's this?
I met Strongman last week. Obviously, he's super cocky. Told him to calm down on the attitude. He was calling himself world's strongest man. I said, no, you're not. Machupa is. He told me to F off. Oh, Elizabeth, what's going on?
That sounds like a bit of a crappy attitude, to be fair.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you do see some guys that do a couple of comps get a little bit ahead of themselves. You find most of the top guys are actually quite chilled and laid back because they understand how hard it is. When you're kind of on your way up, sometimes people get a bit big for their boots and suddenly they get taken down a peg or two as that level gets higher. So I'm sure he'll get to a bigger comp and get his ass kicked and suddenly realize
be humbled. Yeah. Do you think world should move different countries time to time? Example, winning Champions Nation next year.
I love seeing it move to different countries.
Yeah, we miss it moving around. I mean, it's been in America now every year since 2019. It looks likely to be in America again next year. We know that whereas at Sacramento was a 3-year deal and they've only done it twice there so far. They will never do like winning champion, like their nation next year, because it depends on who wants to pay them to come, basically, because they make deals with the tourism board, don't they? That's why I mean, I don't really know what the American edit is like compared to the British in this respect, but on the British one, it was always like, this is this part of the world, and look, they're famed for this and this. They sort of sell the country, if you like.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a holiday destination.
Look who's back.
Had to feed the kiddo and her
Monica's
friends.
back.
Monica's back.
We're glad to know you're feeding the kids.
Yeah, they're not neglected because of us.
We'll do a couple more questions and then we will call it a night, guys.
Dimmick
was a great strongman. That is very true, Rick. I'm sure someone else must have said about Dimmick in the chat, but yes, Jarek Dimmick.
Maybe he was under 6 foot.
He was definitely under 6 foot, and he was a very good strongman.
Yeah. Fred, thank you for the super chat, Fred. Liz, the best videos of the lives. Well, that's good because they're also the easiest. They didn't like. I remember the first time Loz wanted to do a live. I was like, I can't, Lozzie. Like, I won't be able to edit out the stupid things I say. But we're sort of dab hands at it now. I mean, during Worlds, especially with them doing 3 events a day. We were live for like 6 or 7 hours a day.
Did we do this? Did we do this question?
No.
We nearly missed a super chat.
Oh, there you go.
Butthead 4-5 rules.
Thank the super chat.
If Brian did the Masters, would that be fun to see, knowing he would win? Firstly, I don't think he guarantees a win. I know people will think I'm crazy, but I don't think he wins that competition. Because look at the events. The first event is an overhead medley. The second event is a deadlift medley or deadlift ladder. We already know Brian doesn't like speed events that much. He's much better when it's just stupidly heavy.
Yeah.
Then you've got a loading event with a rucksack on your back. The throwing, he'd be very good. The stones, he'd be very good. The frame into the stones, I don't think he beats me on that event, to be quite honest.
No.
So I don't know that Brian wins the Masters. This isn't me saying Brian isn't the strongest. This is me being an athlete, looking at the set of events, thinking logically.
Events matter so
much.
much.
And I'm going there as an athlete. So I'm thinking, well, where can I beat people? And that's what you do as an athlete. I'm not saying Brian doesn't win that show. I'm saying he doesn't guarantee winning that show.
No.
Just like I don't see anyone guaranteeing a win at any show, to be honest, but certainly the Masters show, it's just way too hard to predict. If we absolutely knew someone was going to win, it would be boring. But you could chuck Brian into that competition and I don't guarantee that he wins. Maybe you'd say he's the bookie's favorite, but he's definitely beatable. And you think about what we always talk about, or everyone says, like, Brian's best when it's stupidly heavy.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the case at the Masters.
The Masters would almost be a bit light for him in terms of the weights.
Because other guys will move quicker than him with those same weights. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we see it at World's Strongest Man when it's, going through things like that.
We do.
And the Masters weights are a little bit lighter still. So I think he wouldn't definitely win.
There you go. Sorry, we nearly missed your chat. I think Loz
Thank you very much for the super chat. I wanted to make sure we had all the super chats.
Liz, didn't Colin ask you to take down a video because it was too good? I'm not sure hiring another editor made the videos better. You're a fantastic editor. Oh, that's very kind. No, I don't think so. Like, I have to be super careful and that I'm not, with copyright ID and all that kind of stuff. So, technically, no one has a right to use anyone's footage that they didn't film themselves. But then there's the whole fair use thing. And, some people were saying with the 100 greatest moments, I would love to see a longer clip of that. But if I start showing a longer clip, we leave ourselves open to, like, guys, you're really taking the piss here now and, like, showing too much of our stuff. So we try and...
There are channels that if you use their clip, they can allow you to use the clip, but the other channel will monitor... Anything that video makes will go to the owner of those videos. Yeah. So say you stick up World's Strongest Man recording from Channel 5.
They'll leave it up.
They might leave it up, but they'll make the money from it.
Yeah.
That's if they want to, or they can kind of have your channel taken down. So there's different ways they can go about it. A lot of times you'll hear of like music in the background. If someone's song is playing, then your video will be demonetized for you, and that the owners of those will generate the income.
Yeah. Or almost worse is that you can't use that music at all, and then that bit will be silenced on the video, or that bit will be blurred out on the video. Like we've seen wrestling videos.
We have one video that we could edit, because we don't make any money on it. World's Strongest Man make the money on it, which is our Bill Kazmaier video. Because there's a couple of clips you just left were too long.
Yeah.
But rather than kind of making the video unwatchable and blur it out, we just left it up. But unfortunately, we don't make any money from it.
Did you see Andrea went to prison? She did a public appearance gig. Oh, I saw she did a reel about that, but I didn't actually watch it. I was busy at the time.
I spoke to her about it. She said she really enjoyed it.
That's good. Was it a women's prison?
No.
Oh, blimey. She's brave, isn't she?
So they were really good. Like at first, obviously a bit intimidating, but they really enjoyed what she had to say and listened to her story, and it was really good.
Andrea's such a down-to-earth person as well. She's like the perfect person to talk in that sort of I mean, I'd be awful, wouldn't I? They'd be like, who's this woman? Not that I'd have anything to say. Oh yeah, I talk about strongman. Just left Motley Crue early as they're awful. Thank God, Loz, you saved my evening. Oh, Motley Crue's still going, are they? Jesus Christ.
They've been around a while.
Must be old. Yeah. Oh dear.
What was that about weight cut?
Do weight category strongmen do water cuts before weigh-ins, or does this affect strength too much to warrant?
Yes, some of them do extreme weight cuts as well. My views on weight cuts, really, I don't think they're worth doing unless you are a very high level athlete. If you're competing at a world championships or something, yeah, I get it. But for a small competition, I think you should just go in at your body weight and just focus on getting better to start with. But yeah, I know certain athletes that are doing extreme weight cuts, having to do IVs to hydrate back up afterwards. It's getting quite extreme.
Andrea is hilarious. Andrea is hilarious. I absolutely adore Andrea.
She's awesome. Hopefully see her soon.
Now,
Strongman Sunday's over with.
Yes, because we've been on for an hour and a half.
Don't forget, guys, like the video. Go and like the other videos. Watch them. Leave them on to play overnight. All that jazz.
Fall asleep listening to us. But no, thank you for joining us, guys. We've got lots coming up this week, obviously, with the Strongman Classic. So we'll be filming on Friday. Everyone arriving there Saturday, the morning of, behind the scenes. Afterwards, we've got Mitch and Ashley. It's all very exciting, isn't it? I'd say. I'm just excited to have some stuff to film.
It's going to be good.
Yes. Far too long.
Yeah, we've got lots coming up.
There we go.
Yeah,
right.
If you're a member now, go and check out the members extra stuff that you've got, and we'll catch you guys soon. Have an awesome week. Take care.
Do your smile and wave, please.